Okay, what is going on, guys? Today we're going to talk about how, at a coffee pop up event, a wedding in particular, we were able to churn out over 200 cups of coffee within 90 minutes. Stay tuned. Let's go. Three of us, me, Phoebe, and my sister, Joy, we were able to churn out 200 cups of coffee within 90 minutes, which makes it to be 1 cup of coffee every 45 seconds, right? And it was crazy. We knew going into it that it would be crazy, but coming out of it, it was, whew. It took me a day or two just to decompress and to think about what had just happened. Bear in mind, three of us, it's our first time running a coffee pop-up. I am a coffee roaster. We have a espresso bar in our coffee, so we make coffee day in and day out. But on a actual bar where you have all the equipment, all the rinser, everything that's there with you, right? A coffee pop-up is totally different. Now, the first point that I want to make is that be prepared. We knew going into it, running a coffee pop-up is going to be very different from a traditional espresso bar where you have all the equipment, everything lined up for you. But on that day itself, it was crazy. We were prepared, but at the same time, we did not know what to expect, right? So let me look at my notes here. So the night before, or at least a few weeks before, we wrote down a list. I'm gonna put a list right here of our board. You could go down in the description, the link below, for a full Excel spreadsheet of our list of items that we thought of that we should bring, right? Yours might be different, but it will be generally about the same. Think about the things that you have to bring, not only your espresso machine, but your coffee grinder, your temper, your ice, right? If you need to bring ice, how many ice do you need to bring? How many cooler boxes do you need to bring? The milk that you need to bring, oat milk or fresh milk, right? The amount that you need to bring, the cups that you need to bring. So many things that come into play in a coffee pop-up, right? The trolley you need to bring to transport that coffee pop-up to wherever you need to go. All these things have to be taken into account for. And one of the things that I think is very important that we miss is a paper. Always bring a sticky note if you can. A paper, a marker, and a tape. That is so useful. You can just write down, you forget to bring your menu board, write it down on the sticky note and paste it somewhere, right? For someone wants you to write something else, write it and paste it somewhere, right? You need to know to remind yourself, paste it again. Trust me, sticky note is the winner, right? So be prepared. Now, the second point is streamline your menu. I know going into it, you would have thought, okay, it's going to be a traditional latte and maybe a black coffee, right? On that day itself, our experience was we had a black, hot or cold, a white, hot or cold, or a iced chocolate or hot chocolate, right? So we have together a combination of 6 different menus. Pare your menu down. I know you want to bring in a lot of things, but think about how each menu, if it will speed up your efficiency or if it will slow you down. Take an example, iced chocolate in the shop. If we have a physical shop, what we do is we would mix the cocoa powder with our sugar, with our syrup, and we'll pre-mix it. We'll mix it first upon order, right? And that takes at least a minute or two, right, to do the mixing. What we realize is even before the event that we have to come up with our pre-mixed chocolate syrup, right? Our chocolate concoction. So that on that day, all we did was we just put a few pumps of chocolate syrup in the cup. And if it's a hot, we'll steam the milk and pour the milk in, right? If it's a cold, we'll just put ice and pour the milk in along with the chocolate syrup. And the gas would stir the chocolate itself. So think about how each of the menu, how you could be as efficient as possible, right? That's a very, very key point, right? Think about how you could be efficient, how you could churn out coffee as fast as possible. So streamline your menu. Third point, invest in quality equipment. And when I say quality, it doesn't have to be expensive. It could just be something that would improve your efficiency and workflow. In a coffee pop-up, efficiency is the end-all and be-all, right? So think about how you could make your coffee process as fast as possible, yet not compromising on quality. So some of the few things that we brought that day was, obviously, we brought our linear mini, right? we brought our coffee grinder, right? We realized that we needed a good coffee grinder, and thank goodness that on our coffee shop we use a Marconic E65S volumetric grinder. So what it does is basically it auto calculates. All we have to do is just set 18 grams or 18.5 or whatever we want, put in our portafilter, and it will come out with the exact dosage, right? That way we don't have to grind our coffee, weigh it again, grind it again, weigh it again, and then to achieve the right thing, right? So that has improved our efficiency tremendously. Another thing that improved our efficiency a lot is this Lifesaver U plate. Let me show you what I mean. Look at this U plate right here, right? It's just, it just looks like an alien monster head, right? But let me tell you what this does. Now, most of your single group head or transportable espresso machine do not have a volumetric on it. What I mean by that is you can't just press a button and the set amount of volume would come down, right? This is no different. You have to turn it on, and then when you want to turn it off, you have to physically turn it off. So we were thinking about how are we going to churn out coffee as fast as possible, yet knowing the scale, knowing that our coffee has achieved that weight that we want to come out, right? Every time that our recipe is on point, right? Every single shot. What we did was, look at this. Now, let me tell you this. This is magical, okay? You have to have a tiny scale. We recommend a nano scale, Time War nano scale. What we did was we put the nano scale underneath this L plate. This L plate acts as a counterbalance. What you do is you put on your cup on there, zero out the scale. When you are ready to make your coffee, start the timer. Once you're done, stop the timer, right? And then when it comes out to, let's say you're aiming for 40 grams, and if 40 grams comes out, that's it. You achieve 40 grams. And then you take it out, right? And then you put in a new cup, and so easy. This helps us tremendously. We turn it on. When we hit 40 grams, we turn it off. Turn it on, turn it off. And we know that, hey, did it achieve that 30-second target that we want, right? So, fourth point, train your staff, right? The day I had free labor, I roped in my wife, Phoebe, and my sister, Joy. So it was a family event. All three of us, it's the first time that we did a coffee cart. But I think it went like flawlessly, I would say. So at that day, each of us were assigned a role. My sister, all she did was to take orders from people, right? Write it on the cup, write the orders down on the cup, and then transfer the cup to us. Phoebe would be the one, my wife, she would be the one grinding the coffee and then distributing the coffee and pulling shots. Meanwhile, I'll be just steaming milk all day long, just steaming and pouring latte art, trying to pour latte art. So each of us had a separate role, right? And we knew what our roles were. And so that really clarified things, solidified things. Now, the fifth thing is prioritize customer service. I know during that day, we were overwhelmed, to be honest. It was our first time, and shout out to Alyssa, Leandra, and Gabriel for inviting us for their wedding event pop-up. It was amazing. But we were overwhelmed, literally, at least for the first 20 minutes to half an hour. We didn't know what was what, and we had orders mixed up initially. But some of the things that we learned is that, you know what? This is a wedding event, and we should always still offer customer service. People are not in a rush per se to get their coffee, right? All they want is just to sit there and to talk to their friends and to have a good time. It's a wedding. It's a day of celebration. So train your staff. I would tell myself to look up and at least smile, right? Smile through my mask, and everything will be okay. Because at the end of the day, it's all about building connections, building conversations with one another. And so providing good customer service is very important, right? Now, the last few tips before we end this video. Last few things is that whenever there's a line, when we did this coffee event, the line was like, I didn't even dare to look up. I was just looking down. trying to pour my latte art, I ruined a few, the few nice ones, and just, doing constantly. And when I looked up, the line was all the way to the back of the hall. But some of the things that I wish I would have known is that whenever someone would order or place their order, I would tell them to please stay and wait for your coffee. The reason why is that when there's a huge amount of line and we were churning cups after cups after cups, for me, think about it. My sister's the one taking the order. Baby and I were the one pulling the shots and steaming the milk. We sometimes necessarily would not know if person A is ordering has a latte and a Americano, and maybe person B behind her has a latte and an Americano. So maybe person A, when she left and she thought she would come back a little while, person B took her drink note thinking that it is his, right? So things like that. I wish that maybe there's a better way. If you have a better way, comment down in the section below telling me how, or telling us how we could improve in that. Because sometimes people will take other people's drinks, and when they come back, the drinks were not there, and then we have to push everyone back to the line again because we have to remake the drink, and things just get confusing from there, right? So maybe a way to streamline that would be helpful, right? So one of the ways is just ask them to stay, right? Just wait a little bit, just to be on the lookout. And when your drinks are done, just 4 or 5 minutes, you will have your drinks, right? So that would be very helpful. Other than that, I think it was a wonderful experience. Really wanted to do it again. Want to do it again. So if you have any coffee pop-up weddings coming up that you want to hire us on, hit us up, right? Let us know. Come to our website and contact us through there, and maybe we'll show up, right, to your event. That is all that I would like to share. If you would like me to dive a little bit more about the costing and how it all works, right? We can do a separate video on it, and there's nothing to hide here, right? We're a coffee roaster just looking to provide good, nice, good quality coffee so that everyone can have their time of enjoyment, right? That's all. So thanks for watching. Thanks for staying in this video. Subscribe if you like it, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.